I'm Faye What, and let's queer up drag culture. Federal judge rules Texas drag ban unconstitutional for second time. U.S. District Judge David Hittner has issued a major federal ruling declaring the Texas law restricting drag shows and sexually oriented public performances to be unconstitutional under the First Amendment. The ruling blocks Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton from enforcing the legislation, which targeted drag performances in public venues or places where minors could be present. Judge Hittner reaffirmed that the statute's definitions were overly broad, applying improper content-based and viewpoint-based restrictions on protected artistic expression. The court concluded that the law's sweeping scope threatened wide categories of legitimate performances, ranging from theatrical productions to sport entertainment, emphasizing that protected expression cannot be suppressed simply because some view it as erotic or offensive. Celebrating the decision, the ACLU of Texas senior staff attorney Brian Klosterboer reaffirmed the constitutional protections surrounding performance art, declaring, quote, "Today's decision confirms that the legislature's attempt to ban drag performances was unconstitutional from start to finish. Drag has a rich history as a refuge of joy and liberation for countless Texans, and it's not going anywhere. This law stifled free expression across our state and made people afraid to engage in or attend drag shows or other performances. But all Texans, no matter our gender or background, are guaranteed the right to free expression," end quote. While Texas plans to appeal the decision, civil rights advocates, local business owners, and drag artists praised the ruling as a critical victory for free speech and LGBTQ plus visibility across Texas. Wow. Listen, I'll take this win, okay? Yes. We will take this win for sure. And this is bigger than drag. Yeah. It's about the government deciding what artistic expression we're allowed to see. Drag is theater. And I know that Trini's going to, co-sign with this. Drag is culture, protest, and joy. And the First Amendment doesn't disappear because somebody is uncomfortable with a pair of heels that someone's wearing on a stage.
I read this article. What I loved about one of the things the judge said was as simple as this: if you don't like it, don't go. And I mean, that's so true. There are so many things. John and I were talking about this today. We don't want to go to a MAGA rally, but it's like, so we don't go. It's like
something simple like that.
Yeah. If you don't like it, don't go.
If you don't like gay marriage, don't marry one of us.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, now I've been to plenty of drag shows, right? I mean, you and I have been to enough.
Yes.
You and I have been to more together than most people will see in their whole life.
That's true.
And as they're fun, they're over the top, but they're not erotic. If anything, they're a parody of eroticism. Mm-hmm. The exaggerated breasts and the larger buttocks and stuff. It's fun. It's
humorous.
And of course, people just take it for what it's not, for their own personal gain.
Yeah.
So yay for this.
Yay for this. And, and like you said, the big boobs, the padding, all of that takes like 3 different hoses to put on top. How are you erotic with those 3 hoses? It's impossible to flash anybody, including a kid,
Well, I think that the idea is that it was out in public so that a child would be exposed to it. But how do you define what is man's clothes and women's clothes in a legal letter? Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's when you try to put pen to paper and write out exactly what that means, like you can't have a man that dresses like a woman. Well, what does that mean? If I put a scarf on, does that mean that I'm dressing like a woman? Does it mean that
your earring? Does the earring make that you're being,
Exactly. So then you would have to shut down any kind of Taylor Swift, Beyonce, like pretty much every female pop star that has any kind of semblance of sexuality into it or eroticism. So that's one thing. And the other thing that I was just looking up trying to get it right was I think people in Texas are getting tired of the restrictions, even the people who are conservative, because I was looking up their THC law, because I saw that just passed that if you have possession of less than 1 gram can potentially mean up to 2 years of jail time and a $10,000 fine. So if you have like a little bag of gummies, which people in Texas smoke weed, okay?
Yeah.
And they get gummies, and they've been getting them from Colorado and California. So now with this sweeping legislation, I know that Joe Rogan is like, I do this on my podcast, and I think he broadcasts out of Texas. So it's like, don't quote me on it, but I think that's what is the situation. And so now all these people who have kind of maybe in the manosphere who have been a little bit more on the conservative side are like, wait, where's that guy?
Right,
You know?
right.
So they're looking at like cosign, they have to now be a little bit more equal in what they're against. So they're going to have to be against the whole drag situation as well and support what just happened. So, you know, hopefully we're going to be turning blue. And maybe James Tallarico is going to win the Senate seat there. So I feel like these kinds of things are going to keep happening, and I have hope. I have hope for Texas, and I have hope for the country in the next few months. So
Yeah,
brings
and
me
hope
joy.
for us,
Yeah.
Trini.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like we're a carbon copy, a mirror image sometimes of what Texas does.
Yes.
Abbott has a hard on for us.
Right.
You know, Abbott and DeSantis have something going on, which I don't want to watch. Gross.
Oh,
right?
I'd watch.
You know? But I mean, you know, again, we're in these same kind of
No, you're right.
times right now here. So there's hope.
There's hope.
There's hope. And there is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.